So guys, welcome back to Cheap Motoring TV and welcome to our new office cum studio. You might have seen some wall art going on. Yep, all good. So yeah, welcome back. As I say, we had a really good July. We had 4 cars in, 4 cars out. Bits of stock coming in. We've got the 207 and the Corsa that are in for prep. Got a clear. We might be shifting on at trades, just waiting to hear back. If not, we'll send it into auction. But the subject of today's video is buying a cheap car, the cheaper alternative to finance, PCP, HP, lease, and all that. So, as we know for a given cars are getting more expensive. If you go brand new, it's not uncommon now to buy a car that's £40,000 and over out the showroom, and not so long ago that price point was reserved for your German brands, your Mercedes, Audi and BMW, but now it's more Fords, Vauxhall, Peugeot, that sort of thing. It's not uncommon to be buying a family car at £40,000 retail. Obviously there's new players in the game of all the Japanese brands that are coming in considerably cheaper, which £30,000 mark. But the point remains is, for some time now, for many years now, longer than I've been driving anyway, we are shifting to a finance economy, if that makes sense, where we don't own an asset, we lease it or we finance it, and by the end of the finance we renew it and go through the cycle all over again. So, subject to today's video, is it better to own an asset cash outright or finance? Well, let's get into it. We do have a car in question. If you look on Auto Trader, I just had a little look myself then. A 4-year-old Ford Puma on average miles will cost you £300 mark, with a couple of £1,000 into the deal, which is your deposit. But if you take the deal and look at how much it is to borrow that £13,000 to buy the car, which has already gone up with inflation over the past couple of years. You could say what was a £10,000 car is now a £12,000 to £13,000 car, and so on. We have had that hike in used car prices, and whilst that has gone down a little bit, it's never plummeted to below pre-COVID, I don't think. To borrow that £13,000, you're paying £3,000 in interest and other charges, and that's before you go in. And depending on the dealer, we talk about gap insurance, which, if you are financing a car, I would seriously consider. Some people view it as a waste. I view it as a safety net. That's before we get into things like gap insurance, paint protection, and all the other protections you can buy now from car dealers when you're going to finance a car. That's normally your bigger chain dealers and whatnot, your dealer groups. So yeah, you're paying at least £3,000 to borrow that £13,000. Now, to buy the car featured in this video, it's £1,000. So £1,000 outlay. And while yes, it's a much older car, this car in question is 21 years old. It's done 82,000 miles. You are going to get some faults with it. Now, it's an old product, as we've discussed. If you buy a house that was built in 1950, it's 50 years old, and you're spending a six-figure sum on that asset. When you move in, if you've got to rewire it, it is what it is. It's an old product. It's the same with cars. They're an older product, and I'm pretty convinced in the business plan of a car, it is made to break. But anyway, back to the subject. An older car breaking is a lot more cost effective than a newer car that's not necessarily covered by warranty braking. With the rise of wet belts, turbochargers, EGRs, EGR coolers, and the various electrical things, a 4-figure sum to repair a car isn't an uncommon thing now. A cam belt, a wet belt on, say, an EcoBoost or a PureTech engine is easily over £1,000, whereas on something simple and old, like car in the video today, or a non-turbo engine and a non-wet belt engine, it's 350 quid, 500 quid, depending on the car. So there is that massive saving as well in maintaining the vehicle. Parts as well. Running an older car, I always say eBay is your friend. All I would say is, though, to make sure you're getting the right part, take the part off you, or try and take, if you can, take the part off that you're replacing and compare it with what you're buying on eBay, or get a part number and search via the part number, just to make sure you're buying the right part. But eBay really has been my friend as well, especially with buying and selling cars. We've had to go a bit cheaper to protect our profit margin because we're not working on massive margins, so we've had to protect what margin we've got, and it's came in really handy. Really fast delivery as well. I ordered the wrong drive shaft for the 207. A couple of messages yesterday, and today I've got the right one, so I'm made up with that. They'll definitely be getting a good review off me. So, I haven't had my coffee today. Important thing, coffee, especially in this game. So we'll get into it and have a look at the vehicle in question. And enjoy. So guys, here it is, our Mitsubishi Charisma on a 2004 plate. And this is a genuine two-owner car. There's a scuff there on the bumper, paintwork's a bit flat, but it is a 21-year-old vehicle. It's an 82k, sorry, from new. See there, you've got some nice new brake discs as well. Back at home, we've got the full book on this, and it's been serviced every year religiously, last being in June, so little over a month ago. Every time by a local garage, and then the previous owner before that took it to Gallagher's of Sandycroft, which is the supplying dealer. Again, paintwork a bit flat on the near side there, but it's a genuine altogether thing, isn't it? So 82k from new, bit of a scuff there on the front bumper. Full leather saddles. The only thing is, it hasn't got central locking, which is a bit peculiar. It's got leather seats, aircon that works, nice and ice cold. It doesn't have central locking, which I think is a bit peculiar, but still. Got 2 airbags. It's proper early noughties, late 90s thing, isn't it? Windy windows, all keep you fit windows on the back. Seen this a lot with cars recently, that starts to come off, but again, it's often a bit of adhesive when short. Bit of adhesive just to pin that back, but it's genuinely a mint thing, this. Got our OBD scanner there because it had an engine light on for a oxygen sensor, but that's cleared, so we'll drive it, make sure that doesn't come back. If not, might have to get one ordered. So, no central locking, fuel added. Again, more BCA cement writing. Cannot get it off for love nor money. Got to scrub away for ages. Near enough angle grind it off. So I'll keep your fit windows in the back. And it drives absolutely spot on, this thing. Drove this back yesterday from Manchester. It sat all the way at 70. No issues whatsoever. Only thing I have noticed though is the rev counter doesn't work, but I mean, for years cars didn't even have rev counters, and up until like I'd say 10 years ago you could still buy a car without a rev counter. We've had a couple of Twingos without them, and it's proper, it's back to basics motoring, so you can just listen to the engine when to change gear, you know what I mean? If you've driven manuals enough you'll be fine. Pop the bonnet there, see what we're rocking under the hood. I do, as I say, I do believe this buying a cheap Japanese car like this is a better alternative to finance. You know, yeah, it's an older car, it's 20 years old, you're going to have bits go wrong, but the parts for this, we looked at the sensors are £20 on eBay. All the filters are going to be nice and cheap. It's been serviced religiously every year. You know, it's proper cheap, affordable motoring for people. You're not paying out every month hundreds of pounds. You're not paying 10% interest. And this is an asset you own. So if you fall on hard times, and we've all been there, you can easily sell it on, get some of your money back, if not all your money back. You never know, you might even make a profit and move on. And so nice cold aircon pipes there as well. I wouldn't advise you go putting your hands in the engine, just makes them a bit daft. They shut that aircon pipe. One will be hot, one will be cold on aircon if the aircon's working. And that one coming off the compressor there is nice and cold, so that's good. So you've got simple Japanese 16 valve engine. And there's lots of room on everything, you know what I mean? There's like, you can get to everything easy, you're not rooting around an engine to try and get a sensor. If we need to do that oxygen sensor, it's there right in front of us. We're not clambering around for it or anything like that. Nice and easy to get to. It's all good, isn't it? As I say, it drives impeccably. There's a bit of misting on the lights that I'd do with a buff, but for a grand, and you've got yourself a car with full 12 months MOT, and I'm willing to bet that it'll last a lot longer than 12 months just because of the history with it. It's been looked after every year. It's been maintained religiously. So, as I say, I'm willing to bet there's some life in this yet. It's only done to 82k as well. You think about it, that's really low for the year. Because you say on average, the average person will do 12,000 miles a year. And over this is 21 years, so that's, you're well over 200k for average miles, aren't you? So you're well below that at 82k. So it's as I say, I'm willing to bet there's loads of life left in this. Loads. We're going to use this for a bit because we've got the 207 waiting for drive shafts. They've just been dropped off, the right ones. Then we've got the Corsa we need to do a timing chain on. So it's had new brakes on the back as well, so that would have cost a fair bit. Yeah, the Corsa's waiting for a timing chain, which will be getting done after the 207. Then we can ship the 207 off for MOT, and that can be up for sale. We've got this on Facebook currently at $12.50, and we're willing to take a little offer on it because of obviously the rev counter isn't working, and just to get it in and out, nice and simple, we're willing to take slight offer on it, maybe a Part X as well. May take a Part X at the right money, but yeah, it's nice bog basic motoring, isn't it? So driving back, steering, it's a bit stiff mechanically, but I'd say I'm putting that down to it being an older vehicle. It's on all hydraulic power steering and stuff like that. And I say, how do your plugs on this thing? Where are your spark plugs? Yeah, there they are. Spark plugs are there, sorry. Me being blind. It's allowed, people. Yeah, bit of a strange setup there. You've got like 2 sensors above your coils, and then out come your spark plugs. So that's nice and easy. There's no header tank as such on this Japanese stuff. It has the rad cap, but as I say, I drove it back all the way on the motorway yesterday. It didn't overheat once, stuck it halfway. So yeah, it drives impeccably. We've got good tyres all round. So we've got a scuff there, but at this price point, we're not going to address that because this car's value is in its history. I think it's in the way it's been looked after really well and whatnot. Don't really see many of these about as well. No one really bought these, did they? But probably makes them the better used car buy, doesn't it? Because that's why they're a bit cheaper than everything else. I say they are solid, aren't they? I'm pretty sure, a bit of a nerdy fact for you, but I think these shared a lot with the Mark 1 Volvo S40, and that was known for being a pretty solid car as well. I had one of them a few years back. That went to a good home, nice solid car, on roughly the same mileage as well, same year. Still going around as well. That guy's still got it. He's still happy with it, even though we sold it 4 years ago. So yeah, there is plenty of life left in these old cars. And as I say, with a newer car, parts are expensive. Maintaining them is expensive out of warranty. Bills of £1,000 upwards is not unusual, especially when you've got the likes of wet belts and whatnot going wrong and turbos. A bill for over £1,000 isn't a rare thing. So something like this, where I'm going to be very honest, I think it'll be very rare that the head gasket will go on something like this. It's Japanese, it's proper Japanese engineering, isn't it? Very rare that you'd get something like a head gasket. You'd probably get a rocker gasket which is around there. But there, as I say, you'd probably get one of them for under 20 quid. Running something like this, eBay will be your friend. So any parts you need, straight onto eBay. I'd always take your old part off as well and then compare it with the new one you're ordering, just so you know you're getting the right part. I made that mistake last week and I ended up ordering the wrong drive shafts for the 207. So yeah, it's always worth comparing it for what you're ordering. Try and get the part number if you can. So something this age might not be for everyone because pretty sure it doesn't have Isofix, that's the only thing. So ones with young kids in car seats might not be for you because, as I say, it doesn't have ISOFIX. Pretty sure with some older cars you can retrofit ISOFIX, but I don't know with this one. I'm not too sure. Yeah, there's loads of legroom there though. Loads of legroom. Just need the car to run you around. If you're not fussed about badges or brands and you don't want to spend the 10% APR, I mean, if you look at a finance deal, you look at, say, a £10,000 car, over the deal, you'll be paying a few £1,000s to borrow that 10 grand initially to buy that car. If that's not what, as I say, if that's not for you, for £1,200, £1,000, you can get yourself something like this, which is easy, a year of motoring plus. And then, as I say, comes to the end, even if it goes bang, you can scrap it and get some of your money back. And you've lost hundreds, not thousands. As I say, I'm willing to bet this has got a few more years left in it, this, with its low mileage and its good history. So you'll get a few years motoring out of it, and then, as I say, if it fails its MOT or goes pop, you can weigh it in, and you'll get, what, 200, 300 quid back on £1,000 outlay. As I say, you've lost hundreds, not thousands, in a finance deal or a new car. Now, I know in the press we've seen about everyone getting the compensation, and that's a great thing. By the way, that is absolutely fantastic that people have been able to get reimbursed and whatnot. But I say that's been a long time coming, that, and it was only, as I say, buying a car back then, you could never have relied on the fact that you might get some money back one day. Yeah, for £1,000, £1,000 in, £1,200, you can have yourself this nice, cheap, simple motoring. It's the ideal car for someone that's not really interested in cars in general. They just want something that takes them from A to B, a reliable runner. I mean, not everyone's like us, are they, guys? Not everyone's a petrol head. I mean, but even me, I'll happily run around in this. Happily. Which, while we're ducking and diving and flipping cars, happily run around in this because, you know it's going to start and get you home at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Really. I say it's a nice example of the car, this. But no, thanks for watching, guys. Anyway, see you soon.